Good evening, everyone. My name is Michael. Welcome to the shift. Today, Austin and myself are joined by the legendary AMES, who is dropping an album this Friday. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about music and a bunch of other fantastic topics. But I'll let Austin introduce himself too, and then we can
What's up, y'all?
get into it.
How's it going? It's getting cold out, bro. It's really getting cold out, bro. Like, I wore one layer today in long sleeve, and I'm like, all right, this is enough. But I was still cold. But yeah, I've been well, bro. I've been doing well. I've been like working on trying to get some more music out. So I'm excited to hear what you got planned, Anna. Um, yeah, like I've heard nothing about you till today, and that's the beautiful thing about music. Like, I'm excited to hear about like what you got on the way.
Yeah, no, thank you both for having me. I've known Michael for like 2 years now, so it's good to meet you, Austin. But I'm very, very excited to be on here, and I'm very excited to talk with Michael too, and you.
Yeah, I'm also very excited to see what you have to say about your album and just music in general. Because I know
Yeah.
Austin is also we talked about this before, but Austin is a musician, and I said this in the chat. I was like, I'm gonna be able to talk to like two really young, talented, creative musicians. Like I look forward to that. So
Yeah, and I hope to hear your stuff, Austin.
Yo, I got this problem that like I don't release music, but I record a lot. So it's like, hopefully I can send you some unreleased or something like that. But I got like a little bit of music out. So yeah, I'm just excited. Like we got so much potential like to just do whatever we want with this music. It's just like I just love to see young people express themselves like creatively.
Yeah, and I feel like we don't release things until we're ready, so I wouldn't stress too much about that. Like,
Facts.
this is my first time releasing anything, so I wouldn't say it's a problem. I think it's a good thing.
But
Yeah.
all right. Well, I wanna tell us about your album, Anna.
So it's called Trap Queen. It has 12 songs on it. Originally, it was only supposed to have 10, but I added two. And I actually produced both of them. I had a lot of help with my two engineers, Trinity and Anna Michelle. I really need to remember Trinity's last name, but they're both amazing. And the crazy part is too, my whole album, like the engineers, my photographer, like even the people that have talked about the concept with me, it's all been women. And I'm just so like proud of that, because especially in the music industry, like it's so hard to find women producers, women engineers. And I don't know, I've been so lucky to work with very talented, confident women. Yeah.
I definitely have a lot to say about sexism in the music industry, but before we get to that, I also want to like just ask a little bit more. Like, how long have you been working on this?
The oldest song on it I wrote when I was 17, and that song, it wasn't even supposed to be on there. It's called For My Sisters. It's probably one of the most vulnerable things I've ever written. I have two older sisters. They both have autism. One of them has an epilepsy disorder. So I just talk about that growing up. Sorry, what was the question?
Oh, like how long have you been working on the album?
Yeah, so 17. And then I didn't even realize I was making it, because another song on it I have from when I was 18. Like this whole past 2 years, I would say that I've been working towards releasing an EP. I wasn't planning on doing an album. Like for me, releasing that much music, I was just too scared to do. I didn't know how it would be received. And even now, like I still don't know how it will be received. So that's that's the not so fun part. But I put something together that I'm proud of. So how long I've been working on it, I would say forever, but I just didn't know I was working on it.
Yeah. Well, where like have you drawn inspirations from to make this album?
I would say I've drawn inspiration from everyone. Like it's hard not to listen to someone and then not take something from them. Um, so I'll just list off a bunch of people if that's
Please
okay with
do.
you.
Please.
Okay. XX Tentacion has been a major inspiration for me. Like just how well he mixed his rage with like the more melancholy emotions. Like that contrast has been a huge inspiration for me. So him, Rihanna for sure. I love her attitude. Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, Halsey. I found Halsey when I
Oh
was
my God.
I found her when I was like 14, and I grew up in a Catholic household, so we weren't really supposed to like listen to any other music. And I found her through Pandora, and I just remember being so obsessed with her. And I loved her attitude towards her sexuality, towards, just being a woman. And I just found her so empowering. So I would say that she was my earliest inspiration. Along the lines, people like down the line, as I started singing more, people told me I sounded like Lana Del Rey. I didn't get into her until I was 18, and now I would say I listen to her like every day. So she's been a big inspiration. Post Malone, great. G-Eazy, like some of his old tracks I still play. Machine Gun Kelly, like I love his rock. Uh there was somebody else. NF, big. I was really big in him beginning of high school. I don't want to forget anybody. Oh, Billie Eilish
It's
too.
hard not to. It's hard not to forget everybody. Like there's so many influences out there.
Yeah, I would say that I'm more influenced by today's artists than older ones, but I'm more influenced by older actresses than today's. Yeah, yeah.
When you brought up Halsey, um, I didn't listen to her old stuff at all. I
Really?
am like a very heavy Nine Inch Nails fan.
Mm-hmm.
I
I
don't know
think
if you've ever listened to Nine Inch Nails, but like Trent Reznor has been making music since 1990,
yeah.
and all of his music is so emotionally expressive. Like when he talked about X balancing like rage and melancholy like vocals, Trent has done like the soundtracks and like the songs that are like extremely like abrasive, where you can't even like play it too loud. But he's also made the movie soundtrack for Soul, the Pixar movie.
Really?
When I learned that Halsey asked Nine Inch Nails to produce her recent album, I was like, I'm a fan. Like the fact that like Trent was like, you know what, I'll sign on with this like pop star. I was like, okay, I'll check it out. And like some songs on that album, they just like bleed Nine Inch Nails. Like I'm Not a Woman, I'm a God.
Yeah.
Lilith, Easier Than Lying.
Yes.
Like such a good album. I could
My
talk about it so much, but like
Yeah, my favorite song is Whispers. I should really get more into Nine Inch Nails, though. I don't know too much about them. It's
yeah,
crazy they did the music for Soul and then everything else. It's crazy.
yeah. I have like
Yeah.
some of the vinyls, and I still bump them. Doesn't sound
Yeah.
good at all.
It's
Yeah,
fire.
but like I will say I haven't listened to too much MGK, but
Yeah.
he did trigger me a while ago.
Goodness.
He took a shot at Slipknot.
Did it?
Yeah, he was like, I'm not a 50-year-old weirdo with masks, and I was like,
Wow.
but nonetheless,
I try to stay out of the drama. He had his one album, Hotel Diablo, and I fell in love with that album.
I haven't heard that.
I would listen to it. I think it's pretty good. Yeah, but no, I try to stay out of most of the drama.
Yeah. Awesome. Was there anybody that she listed as an inspiration that like,
Yes.
you know?
Definitely. And I'm trying to get into more rock. Like as I learn this guitar, I'm like slowly getting more into rock, and I'm just trying to like explore that genre more. And I see it less as a genre and more like all music is like, it just combines to like and create like music. It's just music as we know it. Every day it like evolves. People make new music every day. So like honestly, like getting into rock and playing instruments makes me want to produce more too. Trying to get into producing too. Producing would be fun. Like just being able to like make a beat on the spot. Sorry if you can hear the cars in the background. I have the windows open. But like if I could just make a beat based on like a feeling I have, that's like what I want to do to collab with like artists. Just like talk about an idea and then we make a song to it. But if I can like make my own beats, that would be like fun to like learn. Trying to do that. That dude, the influences like, dude, I'm always open to new influences. I have like so many influences, like musically, and just people who are like bigger than their music. Like someone like in like the just like the front lines of the civil rights movement, like Marvin Gaye, like people who just like transcend their music. And like that's just like one example, bro. Like it goes on and on. Like I feel like artists just like they just influence each other too. Like I'll openly let you know like when I play a like unreleased track, like, oh yeah, this is this type beat, or like I got influence from this person. And you can see how like that kind of like influenced me to make what I made. I think it's a beautiful thing, like sharing people's art. It's like, bro, like it's like putting like the way you think into like something that someone else can like
Mm-hmm.
tangibly like see. I think that's pretty cool. So like I get influenced by so many artists, bro, like all the time. My brothers show me so much new music. Like I've been getting into like Latin music. Yeah, like Latin music, like just like even if I can't understand the words, still great.
There was one thing you said that like I also want to shout out Anna for, but when you were saying like there are some artists that transcend just the music and promote something deeper within it. Like for me, one of those bands is Rage Against the Machine, who like while they're producing like a very well organized like rock track, they're talking about like social issues. And one of the first things Anna you said was like, this is an album that's produced, like by a woman, and like it's a project that like other females can probably look to and feel inspired by.
Yeah. But going off of what Austin was saying about people being influenced by other artists, like you're totally right. I hadn't thought of that. Like even when you look up, like trying to find a beat to go over, you always look up so and so type beat. Like I hadn't thought of being influenced by people in that way. That was a really good point.
Yeah, because it's like a journey. Like every day, it's just like what is gonna get brought to like you. Like
Yeah.
there's so many possibilities. And like when I hear like a random type beat that was supposed to like an hour ago, and then I make a song to it, I'm like, dude, I couldn't have planned that any better. Like it's perfect. Like music just gives me that like feeling of perfection in life. Either if I make a bad song or a good song, I'm just like my perfect day is making a song and like enjoying what I made and like sharing it with people.
Yeah.
Can there be bad music?
Yes.
Yeah, if you try.
Because I
Like,
know there's some stuff I hear that I think is terrible. Other people can hear it and they love it. Is it just like I don't understand it? or do we have a measure like this is objectively like shitty?
I feel like, well, for me, I don't like EDM music.
You didn't go to EDC?
No, I didn't. Crazy. I was there Friday night, like in downtown, and everybody just came because I had a show that night, and everybody just came flooding there. And there were people still tripping. Like, no, I'm good. I'm good.
I went to like my first rave last year, or like it was in the past like 6 months. And I kind of had a good time. But I was just like listening to like how a DJ really like probably has their set and then like alters it to like how the crowd's taste is. And I could like really respect that because like I've seen people like mix music like live on the spot, bro. That takes like a lot of talent. It's just pretty difficult to do. It's like
Yeah.
that's like a like kind of like a God-given skill set because not everyone has the same style, even if they have the same like skill. Like everyone has like a different style of like mixing the EDM music and then like the synths. I like the synths and like the hydraulic kind of noises. But other than that, bro, like I would want to incorporate like some more synths into my music. Like that's how it influenced me when I was like, I want some more synths in my music. So I gotta learn how to produce, bro. It comes at that time. I'm giving in.
Yeah, it's weird because I definitely relate to like wanting to produce and like everybody having their own sets of gifts too. I feel like some people are just made. So sorry.
No worries.
You can pick it up. Hey.
Yo. So
An interview? My first interview.
hey, I'm about to get some Gatorade.
What?
Probably the interview.
Yeah, I should probably do that. Wait, let me. I'll talk to you soon. Tonight? Okay. Bye.
That was a little preview of your singing voice when you said bye right there.
All right, random
okay,
side
Jesus.
note. I feel like the FaceTime hang up notification is just kind of rude as fuck, but you can debate that. That's just my opinion. It's like, dude, I'm like, damn, like we had a good conversation. It should be like an outro, less than an ending. It should be like an outro.
Right.
You know, you can like assign different outro noises to like different people. You can assign like different noises, different vibrations. You can already customize the vibrations in the notifications, but you should be able to like customize like ringtones way more.
I wish, man. I remember my first Samsung phone. There was an app called Zedge, and I could download like random like songs and make that my ringtone. And I want to have like a dope ass ringtone. I don't know how to do it though. I want to like have my own like favorite song to like play whenever somebody calls me.
Yeah, man, we're gonna have like floating like chargers before we're gonna have like customizable ringtones. Like give us the simple shit. Like there's always like if you read a Reddit post, there's always like a blog about someone should do this to their products and it'll be better for user interface. And then the company does it and you see success or they don't do it. Like for example, let me give you a very, very perfect example. Damn, I have like a really good example. Just come back to me. All right. I'm gonna sit out for a second. But I have like a really good example.
I want to hear this example, man.
Like it's a really good example. So like imagine okay. Damn, it was like a good ass example. Just slipped on my mind. So like if we were to be like, hey Apple, we should have we should have the freedom to oh yeah, connect to 2 Bluetooth devices at once. Boom. All right, connected 2 Bluetooth devices at once and play the same music to 2 speakers at once. Simple.
Mm-hmm.
But before they give us that shit, we're gonna have like fucking floating cars.
Yeah. Give us ringtones and the ability to connect to different speakers. Thankfully, like this JBL, like you can connect to 2 of these, you know, if you have like 2
Through
of them next to each
JBL.
other.
JBL's smart. JBL's very smart for that.
Yeah.
And they have great quality speakers, bro.
Yeah.
They really have like good weight and good bass. For the size ratio, it doesn't seem like it should be that loud. I'll give it to them. Like they're really fucking loud speakers.
Yeah.
Fucking JBL speakers, bro. Sony's right up there with them. All right, we can go to a different talking point. I could just talk for hours. I'm just in a mood.
I love hearing you talk about speakers.
I have JBLs too, so I get it. The ones I have, they're the Club 950s or something. I might be saying that wrong, but they have like noise canceling. Pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll wear them and I won't even play music. I just like put it on to stop hearing people talking.
You guys have AirPods?
Nah.
No, because I'm trying to get like a good pair of headphones that I can like use to work out, but also like listen to music. But that noise canceling feature that you talked about, that's something I really want to have. Really cool.
I got my headphones specifically so I could run in them, and I like them, but it's weird. It's like there's a pocket of air, because when I run, like I can hear the air like going in and out.
Oh.
So that's a little bit rough, but I feel like if you're not sprinting, you should be good.
Yeah, man. I have like a pair of Bluetooth speakers, Bluetooth headphones. Let me see if they're right here. No, they're not right there. But yeah, they're good. They just kind of, I need like a pair that just doesn't fall out. Like I have to like, take them out.
Yeah.
They're pretty good about them. And they're supposed to adjust to your ear. They sound good. It's just like, sometimes I have to readjust them and I'm like, but it sounds good. So pros and cons in this life shit, I guess.
I want to transition to a topic that I said I'd bring up earlier. When you you also discussed like how it's important to have like females get more representation in the music industry. One thing I was like talking to my girlfriend about a few months ago is my friend was saying that like, we were gonna go to this rock festival and they were afraid that it was gonna be a bunch of misogynistic white men. Likely there were probably a bunch of them, but I was like, as much as rock can have that misogyny, I feel like rap doesn't really get addressed when a lot of the artists are talking about how they want to do like very derogatory things to females. And I brought that up to my girlfriend. I'm like, she was going to Rolling Loud and I want to like rain on her parade, but I'm like, you're about to go see artists that like specifically have songs that are like very misogynistic, What, like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's such a hard topic point, because I have struggled with that so much, because even some of my favorite artists have made like songs that are so derogatory and so like disgusting that it's hard to listen to the words. And hip hop in general, I think, has gotten like just such a bad rap for that, and it's like it's justified. So I don't know what the answer is. Like, I don't understand why we as a society keep promoting music that, it talks about like, I feel like it's fine to talk about sex, to talk about drugs, but not in a way to where it's just, I don't know, to where it's just like you're using and you're overusing and you're like glamorizing it. Like, you shouldn't be
Mhm.
talking about like fucking a bunch of women and then not caring about them. Like, what kind of life is that even? I don't I don't know. I don't know why we as a society like glorify that. I haven't heard of that too much in rock, but maybe I don't listen to rock enough. But it's definitely a problem. I started getting involved in the rap battle scene in Orlando.
What was it?
Rap battle.
Oh, rap battle. Okay.
And that was back in like February. I think I met them in November, and then I went to my first rap battle in February. I used to hang out with these people like once a week. They would all meet at Austin's Coffee. I think you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to go there every Monday, and then like I started working, so I couldn't go so much anymore. But they would form ciphers, and they would just go around and around and like rap. And it was pretty cool. Like, everything there was tame, but once you got to the rap battles, like the whole point was to like win. And to win, you talked about killing people, you talked about your guns, your drugs, like you talked about fucking the other guy's girl. And like, it's a problem. I don't understand why it's those like three-ish, four-ish things that people automatically turn to like, I guess, prove their masculinity. I don't know. I don't know. And they all do the same thing, which is so annoying. Like, at least have some originality. Yeah.
Were you gonna say something, Austin?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I
Kind of
feel like a lot of bars are just repeated, like low key. Like, I hear the same bar a lot, just reworded. I'm like, there's a hell of a lot more that I say in my music that I'm like, this fucking like mainstream music algorithm is busted, like busted. Like, I'll put you on a good music. Like, there's good music, but like, what is uplifted and like, I don't know, like social media and shit like that. It's just like views are just like so skewed. Like, there's so much better underground music if you just take like 5 minutes on SoundCloud and look at anything. So like, yeah, I think there's just a lot of like lack of originality though, like you're saying. A
Yeah.
lot of that. There's a lot of people that are kind of like, I'm not gonna say scared, but like they're like very, very, very like turned away from like doing anything different because like they're getting bread, they're getting to a bag. Like, as we speak right now, the numbers are running up. Like, they can put one of their songs on that talk about money and it's irrelevant. Like, they are making money. So it's like, to tell them to do something different, that's just like, cancel culture don't really exist. I'm gonna break it to y'all. Like, it does when someone really does something wrong, but like when it's like social norm broken, like for example, um who doesn't get canceled? Like, fucking Bill Burr was talking about on his stand-up. He was saying like, basically, if a woman says no, he was like, no, no means no, but no, oh my gosh, no, stop means, oh my gosh, like, I'm not gonna let you know I'm really like, this is your idea type shit. Like, I'm not gonna let you know I'm a freak and I've done this 40 times. And this is like what he said. And the crowd laughs. This is like 10 years ago. Like, I'm just like, he didn't get canceled for that. And I'm like, it's still wrong. He shouldn't have said that. But like, he was just making a joke. So like, I just feel like there's a lack of originality to like step outside of that like musical like.
But then it's like,
And
how much of a joke is it? Like, I feel like if you say something like that, you kind of believe it. It's like the old
facts.
saying that there's a bit of truth behind every time someone says just kidding after they say something. Like,
Yeah, definitely. Definitely there's some truth behind that. And like if you don't address it, that's just kind of like, what's it called? Like, fool me one time, shame on you. Fool me twice, can't put the blame on you. Fool me three times. Like, I swear, for real. Like, and that's just like J. Cole is original, but there's a lot of people that try to be like J. Cole. But his storytelling is just his life, you know what I'm saying? It's just raw J. Cole. But then you got someone like Juice World who is Juice World. And then like there's a lot of people that kind of try to sound like Juice World. But like Juice World, that's not the thing about Juice World brought that guitar back to like into like the rap hip hop scene, like strong guitar.
That's a good point. Yeah, you know, and I think there's such, because when I think of Juice World, like I automatically think of this category of musicians, and maybe category is like not the best word, but this group of musicians that was really relevant when I was like 18. It was like Juice World, Lil Peep, XXXTentacion. I'm blanking on who X like collaborates with the most.
Ski
But it
Mask.
was,
Yeah.
yeah.
Trippy,
It was like
Trippy
this.
was there.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just this group of artists that I feel like were pretty raw and real with their lyrics. And then they all just like died. I don't know. Like I think about that almost almost every day. Just how, I don't know, like what the cost is to being real and being vulnerable. And like obviously those two things don't necessarily correlate like they didn't. Yeah, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I think about that a lot.
I have like a response to like two things. And the first one was like, why do we glorify sex? And I'm also gonna get to like what's wrong with like being honest.
Wait, you said why do we glorify?
Yeah, you were talking about like why is that like the main, thing that male rappers are discussing.
Hey,
Okay.
look,
Hey, Garfield.
sorry.
If you notice, like it's a biological and primal urge to like look for the best looking like mate. And when you have like on display like these rappers talking about like these women they're with, or they have like the most beautiful woman in the entire like country in their videos, that is meant to like get the minds of people to be locked into what they're producing and like singing. It's not even the art. Like their music's not good enough to just have them. They have to have a girl to like make it even better. To also display like I'm the dominant guy who has like this amazing girl and like I can sing about, doing all these things. But when it comes to like being
Facts.
honest and real in the music industry and honestly like in American society, that's looked down upon. Anytime you see anybody like being vulnerable or trying something new, most of the populace just goes like, no, like be normal, do like the main like the streamlined thing where you're not pushing any new ideas or narratives out there. Like thankfully more and more people are starting to realize that being an individual person and not just a body among all the bodies is much more important than just like fitting in, because when you're just fitting in, you're letting that like narrative that's being pushed out by the music industry and pushed out by like the dominant um like the dominant forces that control the relations of ruling and the means of production, who decide that like sex and drugs is what we're going to put out there, because like those things are, sex and drugs can stimulate your consciousness in a way that nothing else can. And when you're constantly seeing it on like display, you're like, oh, I want to have that, like I want to have what they're talking about. And when artists talk about things that matter, they're not promoted. I just went on a rant.
Yeah, no, you're good. I had like 2 points that I wanted to just like get in there too before I forgot. But the last part you're talking about, songs about sex and drugs. Like, I think it's fine to talk about those things. I just don't think that should be an artist's like entire discography. Like, that shouldn't just be what you get from them. Like, those are experiences in life. Like, I think it's perfectly fine to write about them. It just shouldn't be your whole personality. And then there was something earlier. That when people are real and vulnerable, like as musicians, other people kind of like look away. I agree with that. But I think when it's done in a way that's not too overt, I think it draws people in. Like, it's almost like taboo, you know? So I think when it's done in a way that is to where you're not like chopping the onion in half, but you're like peeling back a little bit of it, then I think it works.
Yeah, and I'm sorry.
No, you're good. That was it.
I was gonna say real quick, like I think if people do like include sex or drugs in their music, they should be creative with it. And
Right.
Run the Jewels has a song called Love Again. And the first two verses are Killer Mike and LP, which are males. And they're talking about how they want to like put their dick in the woman's mouth all day. That's what they rap about.
Mhm.
And the song ends with a verse by a woman named Gangsta Boo, who's talking about how like she is hypnotizing this man with her body, and like she's actually in control of him because he wants her so bad. And like that's like such a badass way of being like, you know, like I'm like a boss bitch,
Yeah.
you know. And I want to see that more, which is why I really liked Halsey's album, and which is why I'm also probably gonna like your album, because like you're including that in a creative way.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, I'm a little nervous.
I'm excited to hear this, by the way. Like, I'm just trying not to chime in and like cut people off.
Oh, you're good. I don't want to talk too much. You keep going.
Yeah, like I haven't heard any of your music yet because you said this is the first thing you've released, right? Okay, that makes more sense. All right, bet. How many tracks you said? 13?
12.
12. It was gonna be how many? 10?
Yeah, it was supposed to be 10. I added 2 songs. One was the one I wrote for my sisters. That's the title of it. The other one is called PTSD, and that's about a real event. And it's a pretty crazy story. A psychic told me back in March that there was a song that I wrote and that I wasn't going to want to put it out, but I needed to put it out. She said it wasn't going to be a hit, but that there were some people that really needed to hear it. So it's this, I'd hate talking about it because I don't know how to say it in a way that's easy for people to hear. But yeah, the song pretty much says everything. Something happened to me when it was actually summer freshman year, Michael. So, and it changed my whole life. So by putting that song out, like I hope that other people are able to heal. Yeah.
That's huge.
But yeah, 12 songs.
Yo, you're really strong for that.
Thanks.
Girl, to like be able to transform like something into like healing. That's tough. That's like whenever I like make music, that's why music's my creative outlet. Cause like I feel like I got so much baggage that like I don't know is baggage till I make a song and I'm like, damn, that's a good ass song. I'm like, shit. Now I'm in the thick of it. So like it's really just like it's like something I couldn't live without, bro. Like if music got taken away from me, it is me, like at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
I also want to say like that song is definitely going to be able to help a lot of people, you know,
I hope so.
because like, I'm sorry, what were you saying?
No, I was just gonna say that I was so, like, I went back and forth on it for a really long time, and then when I knew I had to do it, I even went back and forth on it then, because to me it's like it's embarrassing. Like, I know it will help other people, but I also know that by doing that, and I'm assuming I'm going to make it, so but once I do, like, I'll always have to talk about that. So yeah, it was a hard decision to make, but continue.
Well, I know it was a hard decision. I actually don't know it was a hard decision. I'm not gonna understand.
You know now.
But I do think it was probably the right one.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
never easy when you talk about things of that nature. So, but how long is the album, if you know the runtime?
Oh, that's a great question. I feel like it's 45 minutes. The
Mm.
short track on there is just over 2 minutes. The
Oh
longest track
shit!
is like 5 minutes long.
So this is like a full scale project.
Yeah. So my goal there's a little storyline too and everything. I didn't really get to that.
Oh yes,
I
sir.
probably should have. But
It's fire.
I mean, every song that I've written is about my own experiences, like the lyrics, everything I've written because I've experienced it. All of it is my truth, but I wanted to make it into a storyline. So you have the first song, it's called Play With Me, and it's kind of just like an invitation. It's like, I'm going to talk in third person because that's easier. It's kind of like there's this girl and she's inviting you to go on this adventure, but it's also really dangerous. There's a couple of lines in there and it talks about like flashing lights, running up the stairs. So it's almost like a teasing. And then the next song is called Romeo and Juliet. So it's almost as if she found somebody to play with her.
Mm.
And she falls in love with this guy. And through that, she kind of embraces, I guess, the crazier sides of her sexuality. And then from that song, she goes straight into My Megalomaniac. And the word megalomaniac, I think I'm saying it correctly.
Megalomaniac.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. I was right before I sang it, I like kept pressing the pronunciation to make sure I got it right. Right. But that song, that word, it means somebody who's obsessed with their own power. And I kind of transitioned from Romeo and Juliet to realizing that the person that girl was in love with couldn't love her because of how much they love themselves. And then by the end of it, she leaves. And that song is about like a really toxic relationship. And yeah, my goal for that song, I mean, that was a crazy song too. Like I had to rewrite that one. I actually, I ended up meeting this woman the same week I was supposed to record that song. And I rewrote all of it because she and I, we were talking, and I met her in a store, and she was telling me all about, I don't know why, but the subject of women being like mistreated always, like it always comes to me, and we ended up talking about that, and I realized that I needed to make a song to where I describe the imbalances of power in a relationship and then the woman taking back her power. So I did my best to get that across. I rewrote it.
Which song is that again?
My Megalomaniac.
And that's track 3.
3, yeah.
Okay.
I probably should have given you a set list.
No, I'm really enjoying hearing about this. Is it
Okay.
so? Would you call this a concept album?
We'll go with that. Can you, my computer is making noise. Can you hear it?
No.
Like a fan. Okay, cool. Perfect. Um, yeah, so then the 4th song after that is Cherry Bombs. And that song is actually one of my favorites. We auto-tuned like my higher notes because I had a couple little operatic notes, and when we auto-tune them, they sound like a flute. So that's pretty cool. But the story for that one, that track is like 4 minutes long. It's pretty long, and the story goes all the way through. But it talks about a night that I had a year ago, and it was a pretty crazy night. I went to the Ace Cafe. I don't know if you're.
I've been there. It's a nice venue. Very nice venue.
Yeah, I went there, and I ended up having 2 different experiences, I guess is a good word, with 2 guys there, and then I wrote a song about it. So, and that was it. Like, it was just more of a in the moment thing. So from the concept, it's like a call to adventure, meeting someone, that relationship being terrible, afterwards kind of, I guess, embracing your sexuality. And then from Cherry Bombs, I go straight into Our Moment. And Our Moment is just like a really innocent song. I met this guy in February, and it kind of sucks because when we first started like going out, I was so in love. I thought that I had finally found someone. And then like as it progressed, he just stopped putting effort in. And then he was aggressive physically. And it's just it's annoying because that's the most pure song I have. And it's about this person who like really mistreated me. It sucks. But I mean, it's a good song. So anyways, that song, really pure. It just talks about being in the moment. And there's like dark undertones in it because there's a lyric and that just kind of talks about like disassociating and then having to go back in. So it's almost as if everything that girl has been through is still like catching up to her, and she's just trying to be in that moment. And yeah, so it's not necessarily love, it's just trying to find it and thinking that you found it. Going to the next song, it's called One Day. The first line of that song is, can you tell me what love is? I've been searching for a while and I can't seem to find it. And so that kind of ends the first portion of the album, because the first portion is just about that girl trying to find herself through men. And then you get to the 6th song, and then that line comes on, and then that was like one of the hardest songs I've had to make too. I cried. I wrote it in the Black and Gold studios.
Yeah.
Spent a long time there by myself. But yeah, like I cried during that song. And I just like I put a bunch of my past experiences in it. Yeah, I'll let it talk for itself. But the main message was that I was going to use everything that had been done against me, and that I was going to get out of that. And that goes straight into the song called Pink for Red. And the idea of that song is that I traded the color pink for red. So that I traded my innocence, like I guess the lighter sides of femininity, for I guess the world's standards of what a woman should be. And it's just a song of rage. Like I actually recorded a child's voice, a mom's voice, and a man's voice. And the whole time the man is saying things like, I made you, you're mine, smile, like look pretty. And you just like, I'm belting the entire song. And the very last line too is the little girl, she says, but I like pink. And then the mom says, baby, in a world of gray, you have to be red. So from One Day to Pink for Red, I was recounting my past. And I hate talking about things, but I know that if I don't, it won't seem as important as it is. In that song, I talk about being molested and then getting passed from like woman to woman, because my parents couldn't really take care of me, like they did their best, but my sister's challenges just made it really hard for them to take care of me. So the Pink for Red song, it's just complete rage over like what I had to go through. But I don't want it to be like victimizing, you know. I don't want it to be taken that way. I want it to be empowering. So Pink for Red, and then the song after that is Red Riding Hood. So I became Red. That song is actually pretty cool.
So I like this plot so far, by the way. You
Me
said it has a
too.
story.
This is
This
awesome.
little storyline. Nah, this shit has a plot. This shit has a fucking. This shit has like
This is
a
some
fucking
Stanley Kubrick type shit.
rising action. It's like 3-dimensional. All right, continue. My fault. All right, my fault. You can continue.
No, you're good. Yeah, even Pink for Red, like the guy speaking, those were things that have been said to me, and it's so distorted you can almost not hear it, and that was kind of the point. But yeah, I guess there's like an overall plot, and then there's a subplot with everything. But yeah, Red Riding Hood. So I was singing at karaoke bars, and I started taking it pretty seriously around February. And I was doing it once a week. Then eventually I got to twice a week. Like I got very well known or in those spaces. And then May came, and some people who owned a club downtown were at Big Daddy's. I don't know if y'all are familiar with that. Well, they were there. They saw me sing. I sang a couple of songs. They actually chased me out to my car, gave me their number, and told me that they needed a singer. So since then, I've had a show every Friday in downtown Orlando where I have a 45-minute set of just straight covers. And when I first started working there, like I was so nervous, I couldn't even introduce myself. And I always wear a big gown. And when I first started going to, like, I was very timid. I didn't want to walk around the streets of Orlando and get harassed. So I bought this red cloak, like it's full length with a hood and everything. And I figured, you know, if people are going to harass me, like at least they'll be scared of me. Like I'd rather them call me a witch than follow me around and call me a prom queen. So I started wearing that hood, and I don't wear it as much now because I'm not really alone anymore.
It's fire.
Yeah, but I made a song about that and just kind of like the present reality that I have right now. And I call myself a trap queen in Spanish. Yeah.
How do you say that in Spanish?
Soy la reina de la trampa. Soy la reina de la trampa. So I guess I'm the queen of the trap.
Okay.
I think. I hope I said it right.
Yeah, I was just trying to like. I took Spanish in high school, man.
Yeah.
I'm ready. Nah, I'm trying to relearn Spanish though.
Yeah, same. It's leaving me.
You know how you like, you know it, but you can't. I can listen to it. I can understand it pretty well, but I can't really speak it very well. So that's like,
Yeah.
I need to like, I need to like get my speaking up.
Yeah, I need to improve on everything. I just haven't, and it just hasn't been a priority.
I feel that.
Yeah,
What has your priority been recently?
this album. I'll put everything aside for this.
That's fire. That's how it's gotta be. Like, I'll put out a single and be like very picky on what I do with it, but like when I'm really locked in, like there's nothing that's gonna take me away until like I have what I want to have and like release it. You know what I mean? Nothing can take away from like that finished product. Me releasing it to the world is like just me sharing it for other people to enjoy it or dislike it. Like it really doesn't matter to me at that point. Like what's bigger to me is the people that I do reach and they appreciate like what I've created and like what I've expressed. That's literally like the biggest thing for me, like improving someone else's life, knowing like someone else knows I'm going through something they've been through, or like talking about an idea that like resonates with someone, like they're not alone. Like just knowing like there's like someone else out there, like, you know, kind of like you in a certain type of way. And also just vibing, like putting out a vibe.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, I'm like spacing out right now.
You're good. You didn't finish the track list, right?
Yeah, no, I didn't.
Okay, where'd you leave off? Red Riding Hood?
Red Riding Hood.
My fault. I kind of like
You're
went
good,
on.
You're
bro.
good. You're good. Uh, people honking. Little Songbird is next, and that song, like, I just spend, I think, like 30 seconds, and it's in a kind of a voicemail style, and I just talk about people wanting to use me. Because the more I sang, and this has been a pattern like my whole life, but the more I put myself out singing, the more people who wanted to collaborate with me. And I don't collaborate with anybody like at all. There's been 2 people, but I don't trust people to collaborate. And the more I sang, the more like people approached me and told me that I should work with them, and that, you know, I should be getting paid, and that I should be famous and all this stuff. So that song is just kind of, it's like the flip side of being Red Riding Hood. It's like all the bad stuff that comes with it, and people just wanting to use you, and you like just working so hard and it feeling like it's not worth it. So that's Little Songbird. Then that song goes straight into For My Sisters, and then PTSD. So I would say the first half of the album is kind of about somebody else. The second half is completely about me. And For My Sisters and PTSD is me just coming to terms with some of the hardest things that I've had to go through. And then the very last song is I Killed Her. And that one's my favorite. It's kind of a sad song. I cried when I wrote that song. There's actually a portion of me crying in it. We kept it because I had to re-record all the songs. Like I recorded I guess you could call it demos in black and gold, and then I took it to JICA for them to, you know, mess around with, because I wanted the production quality to be better. And that song, I think I talk about how I don't want to be here. Then I think I open up and I say, I know, death isn't an answer, but I killed her off so I could be born better. So I took me like not even wanting to be here anymore. And I transformed it into killing who I was so that I could make a better person who wanted to be here and who would make an impact and who would be a leader. So yeah. And the very last line of it's my favorite. And I say that I ripped my skin off, and that I watched it grow. And I'm jumbling my own lyrics up, but the very last line is that this is just the start of my show. So I wanted to leave the last track as kind of like not an ending, but a beginning. Yeah.
I like pushed my mic to the side because I wanted you to have the floor.
Oh, thank you.
I don't like I said, I don't know what to sonically expect, but from what you've told me so far, I'm really looking forward to how it all is going to sound when it's all put together. And I also respect you for like coming on here and telling like your story and telling some of the hard things that you've had to go through, because that's not easy. And for you to include that in your album, and by the end of it, it sounds like you're overcoming and becoming like a new person.
Yeah.
And that's remarkable. So
Yeah. Yeah, I just really wanted to emphasize that I don't want it to be about being a victim. I want it to be about, being a warrior. And when people listen to it, like, you have to heal from what you've been through. So you're like allowed to be a victim, but I don't want people to stay in that. I've noticed in some of the conversations that I've had with people that they take the things that they've gone through as some like type of superiority that they have over other people. And I just like, I don't want it to be about that. I just want it to be about people being able to overcome their challenges. Yeah. So I just wanted to say that. Thank you.
Aspire. I have a question. Did you write this like in what time span, and like when did it come to you?
The the idea for it, I told Michael, I ran into him like 2 months ago, and I told him I almost renamed the album Femme Fatale, and he was like, "What?" Yeah, I actually changed it back to Trap Queen because I think it's catchier. People probably.
yeah, I was like, Trap Queen just hits. Yeah, and you gave me like I think I had your old number, and I texted this person. I'm like, "Is this Anna Ames, the Trap Queen?" And they're like, "No." Oh, they're like, "No, this is not." And I'm like,
Yeah, I only have one number, so it must have been a different Anna. I thankfully have not had to change
maybe.
Had to block a lot of people, but I haven't had to change my number. Yeah, I forgot what you were saying. Yeah, almost. Oh, the time span and the concept. The name didn't come until after I saw Fetty Wap perform. Like, I thought about naming it Trap Queen. Originally, I was thinking Drama Queen, just because I wanted to, I guess, poke fun at all of the emotions. But after I saw Fetty Wap perform, and actually, here's where the story is. I saw Fetty Wap, and then 3 days later, I sang at a house party, and I sang the song "Play With Me," Our Moment, and One Day. And someone made a joke because I told them that I sounded like a trap Lana Del Rey, or at least that's what I've been told. And someone made a joke about, "Oh, you're the Trap Queen." So that kind of was a sign to me like I should go with that name.
That's fire. Trap Lana Del Rey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear this. So
Thanks.
I was wondering, like, when you wrote these songs, did you write them for them to be in the same project?
No, I started going to Black and Gold, so that's a studio here on campus, and you get to use their equipment, and you just kind of.
Yeah, I was at UCF my freshman year. I
Okay,
loved
my
Black
bad.
and Gold. Black and Gold is so great. Like, it's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah. No, I spent a lot of time in there. So I just like I was writing there nonstop. When I was a freshman, I would go in there twice a week, and I would rent it out at like midnight. And you know how you're supposed to get 4 hours a week?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, instead of doing that, I would stay in there like twice a week until like 4 or 5 a.m. Like I used to put in long hours.
Yo, for real?
Yeah.
Me fucking too.
What
Every
nights were you doing?
time I was there, like I would get there for the night shifts. It'd be like
Yeah.
12 to 1:30, and then I would just stay. But this was 2019, 2020, like fall of
Okay.
2019, 2020. So yeah, I
I was
wasn't
doing it at the
there.
same time.
And then the spring of 2020 until like what's it called?
COVID.
Yeah, spring break, and then COVID hit, and then I was all online. Came home. I live in Maryland, did online school, and then transferred up here to Philadelphia. I'm going to school here now, but like,
Oh, you're in
yeah,
Philly?
yeah, I'm in Philly right now.
Oh, that's crazy. I had
Yeah,
no idea. I thought you were in. So that's why you wanted to do Zoom. I was like, why don't we just like meet up?
yeah, I definitely would if I was down there.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. Good for you.
Thank you. I'm
Yeah.
taking it day by day, really just trying to have fun with the music. Like my definition of fun is like not just like a good song, just like if I make something and I like feel accomplished.
Mhm.
It's like reading a good book.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I know that feeling. But yeah, I started at Black and Gold. I wrote a good amount of my songs there, but not all of them. And then like I spent so much time just writing on a piece of paper the set list, and I just did that until it felt right. And I actually wanted to release an EP first. I think I might have mentioned that. I can't remember, but I just because I wasn't sure how it would be received. What made me do an album? There was this one show I did, and it was crazy. I got invited to open for this girl, Savannah Christina, and it was at Soundbar. And that was my first time doing any of my original stuff. And that was in August. And I was so scared. Like I almost did covers before, but thankfully I didn't. And like thank God I did that show, because the studio that reached out to me, they saw me at that show, and they would have never like reached out to me if I hadn't done that. A lot of things came into line because of that show. But after I saw like how much people liked what I was doing, I was like, damn, could actually write a whole album. And the more I added songs to it, the more I realized that I needed to give everything. Like part of the reason I added For My Sisters and PTSD, the last song, I killed her. Like there's another line in it that says, I told you everything. And I just kept going back and forth with my conscience, because at that point I had 10 songs and I hadn't told people everything. Like I hadn't told my story. And that's kind of the whole point. Like I waited, I would say I've been working on this project seriously for like 2 years. I just didn't know it was going to be an album. And I felt like, yeah.
That's fire.
Yeah, I felt like I
I,
was, yeah.
yeah, so like me also being an artist, I respect that. Like the vault is so important. Like you gotta write shit and keep it to yourself.
Mhm.
Cause like who's gonna be your biggest critic if it's not gonna be you? And I have people that are like, oh, put this shit out. Like, nah, bro. Sometimes you just have to like put it under a different like lens, listen to it in different scenarios, in different like mind states, like different like emotions, and just let the ideas flow, because then you get like music video ideas, you get like ideas for like visions of like just anything. Music can bring you literally anything. And then like I have like a bunch of unreleased, so like I don't know what I'm gonna do next with it, but like I really like what you're doing, like for real. Like I'm trying to meet like underground, like up and coming artists And like I feel like we're all like, sorry for saying like so much, we're all on a good path, a good starting point. Everyone I've met has a plan, everyone has a different style, brings something different to the table of like the fabric of what music is in this world. So I enjoy seeing like everyone doing their thing. I respect your craft. I'm excited to hear it for real.
Yeah, no,
I'll
thank you.
share it with my friends and stuff too.
Oh, all the way in Philly?
Yeah, for real. We're all the way up and down the East Coast with it.
Okay. Um, but yeah, I feel like he was talking about releasing songs and not being sure. This kind of diverts a little bit, but I want to talk about it because in Orlando, there's such a culture of what I've noticed of people just releasing singles and then hoping to make it big off of that single. And if they don't, they just release another single. Like people don't do albums. If they do, they release the singles first. If they do an EP, then they release the singles first. And it's just this like quick way to, I don't know, get like traction to like hopefully make it, hope that somebody notices you. But
I heard that.
there's, while that's like you can turn anything negative into a positive, and while everybody's doing that and it seems to be the thing to do, like it leaves such a pocket for bigger work to be noticed. So it's also kind of why I did the album,
Nice.
because I wanted to not do what everyone else was doing. So I feel like you could take that too. Yeah.
That's very valuable. Just like looking in the mirror and trying to like overcome that, like in different ways. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like always looking in the mirror. When I look in the mirror, I'm like, damn, like, yeah, I'm good enough. I love myself, but like, I need to like, I need to be more proficient in like trying to do this in my life more, or like do this thing or implement this. Like with my music, I have this idea for like a album, and it's just music that gives me a certain feeling, and just classifying that into a project. I guess that's gonna be like my framework for that one. But I also have another idea, and it's about like the five senses, and I'm just gonna call it like something along the lines of having an open mind, and then like name each song like one of the five senses.
You could name
Or
it
some shit
like
like
The
that.
Sixth Sense.
It's the sixth sense. I like that.
Yeah. Could add an extra one in too.
Facts. It's facts. So yeah, I know you say you don't collab, but like I'm definitely gonna keep up with your music and stuff. Like
Thank you.
definitely.
Yeah, like I would love to collaborate with people in the future, but just here it's like again, it's the culture of releasing a single, but it's also the culture of collaborating. And I don't know, it's like every time, not every time, but almost every time I have a show or I tell somebody I sing, like if there's that one night, like in that one night, somebody will come up to me and ask me to collaborate. And for me, it's like, it's more about preserving my energy and my time.
Oh yeah,
And you can't like get that off of meeting somebody once.
definitely.
So you can't like know them.
Facts. And I think that's the essence of being an artist, knowing like what y'all can collaborate, what space, what idea do y'all really want to like meet at, because you don't just want to like collaborate for the sake of just saying you did this with this person. Like do something bigger, like you're saying, like bigger projects, bigger ideas. Like I want to start shooting my own music videos. I just got
Yeah.
like a tripod and stuff, like a stabilizer. And I'm
Okay.
gonna start trying to like tie the video. I shot one video so far, but I'm gonna try to start tying the videos together in like a sort of plot line, like an episode type of
Yeah.
like storyline. Have like some like acting scenes going on, and like implement just like random ideas. Just like have the music be bigger than just like always just trying to make the music bigger, because like not bigger in like size or reach, but like meaning, you know what I mean?
Mhm. I think it's okay to want a bigger reach too. I feel like I don't know. I feel like we almost, it's like this struggle that if we want more people to listen to our music, then it makes us seem, I don't want to use the word egotistical, like prideful. I don't know. Like it seems
for me,
self-serving.
yeah, it's about preserving my energy. I can't be out here like begging people to go and enjoy my music. Cause for me, like I cross a line by releasing it that I'm like, all right, I'm bound to like just appreciate what it is for what it is. Whatever happens from that point on is like I can't be let down by it type shit. Like I don't want it to be something like I like constructive criticism, but trying to like make my music reach more people. I want it to be more organic. That's just me. I just want it to be as organic as possible. Like, just like for real, like I go to an open mic and meet someone like you were saying, like you had a show. Like I just want to go to like some open mics, talk, meet some producers, and really just like create something that's like, like bigger than me. Like my rap name is just like a testament to like a personality or identity or like something I felt within my life. Like and like my merch aligns with that because it's like hoodies, like sweatshirts. So it's like everything's connected in like a
Hoodies.
way.
That's funny.
Yeah. So everything connects in a way that's like bigger than me because it's really not about me. Like I'm just like a vessel for like when I make music, I'm just a vessel for like something bigger. Like my identity is ever changing, ever evolving. Like
I think it's okay to like want things for yourself too. I read this book. I think it's called Unbound, and it talks about how your desires are like placed into you for a reason. So like for me, I've always struggled with, because I want my music to be big, and it doesn't necessarily have to happen organically. Like it could happen not organically, and I would be happy with that. I just wouldn't want it to be within my control of it happening or not. But what I'm trying to say is, like, I agree with being a vessel, but at the same time, um, I believe that we all have desires and that it's okay to want things, and that it's okay to like go after those, even if they are self-serving, but just as long as they aren't completely self-serving. Like
yeah, I just don't fuck with billionaires. So like when I think about my music becoming big, I think about money. Like I want my reach to be real, you know what I mean? I don't want my sound to change as I grow as an artist. I want my reach to be who I am today, and my longevity to be like based on like my, how XXX had like 43 million plays from like actual people.
yeah.
Like I just want that, like I want that impact in people's lives that's like positive, uplifting, and it's like something that like resonates with you. Like you put on my music and it's like a safe space, almost like something that you can identify with no matter who you are, because like it's really like my raw music. Like whether it's like something that's more rapping, more singing, more of like bars, more of like a vibe, it's really just like transparent. I don't like talk about material things without like a deeper meaning. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
talk about the ideas of my
I follow everything you're saying, but talking about like not liking billionaires, I disagree with that. Because there's some of them who are just like us, like not all of them are old money. There's people who are new money who made it as entrepreneurs, and they're like just like us. They just found, I don't know, $1 million idea. Like, I don't think it's easy to define people by their money, but I don't think we should. Like, having a lot of money doesn't necessarily make somebody a bad person. Like, I plan to be a millionaire, a billionaire. Like, I plan to sing on arenas all around the world. Like, I want
beautiful.
that.
That's
Thank you.
beautiful. You deserve that. And I want that too. But like my reasons for wanting that are to like give back to my community. I feel like I haven't
Yeah.
reached telling you that. Like I want money to be able to give money back. I don't want to like
Right.
I'm not greedy. Like I keep my ego in check, but like I feed my ego like as I should. You know what I mean? Like I know what
I
I've
mean,
done, but like I'm not about to be like over here living through ego. Like I'm just trying to
right,
be like
right.
someone who like sees the world with clarity and like offers that like awareness to like someone sitting next to me. Like
We're just like living with a small ego, but like a really big house.
no, living with who I am transparently,
Okay.
but also like through the means of like supporting those in my life and people in this earth who need help and like being selfless, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like being part of a cause that's bigger than me and like having money or material items, because I really like could go buy a fast car and go really fast, but like where am I going to? You know what I mean? I'll drive fast, but like where am I going to? That's how my mind thinks.
Yeah. That's a great point.
I will say, when it comes to billionaires,
Oh goodness.
if people want to make billions of dollars, they should. But if I start asking people, name like one good billionaire, it's probably going to be very hard to pick one because there aren't many. Because at least the billionaires that we do know about use loopholes and tax havens to avoid paying their fair share. So I want to see good billionaires like Anna and Austin in the future who do good things with
Michael.
their massive amounts of wealth.
And Michael,
Yeah.
I don't want to be a billionaire. I don't want to be rich.
dude, I don't need money, bro. Like I just watched Kanye West interview, and this man was talking about how like his house to him is like his suitcase, right? And to me, that idea is like perfect. Why would you want to just like at our young age buy a house just to sit in a house and take care of a house and pay a mortgage? Wouldn't you want to just travel the world for a few years and just like do whatever the fuck you want? Like hop a studio to studio, like rent out a house, fucking rent a boat, like, and that's just accessible and less like of a taboo of a rich lifestyle, like a
That's a good
universal income.
morning.
So like that's what, if I were a billionaire, that's like the shit I'll be fighting for. I'm not fighting for myself. I'm fighting for people who have no opportunity to be where I'm at ever or any thought of it because they didn't get fucking born into my shoes. Like fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Like bro, people don't have fucking clean water some places, and I can literally make a fucking 5-star bill in my kitchen right now. That's
It's like
fucked.
Elon Musk made $36 billion in one day. And I know parents that struggle to make what, like 50,000 a year. And
Yeah.
then Elon goes on Twitter and like starts making jokes about how Bernie Sanders is still alive and how like they're trying to come for his money and Bernie's gonna steal all the food and not bring any. And I'm like, you're the richest man in the world, and you're not like using all of your power to like do good things. Which I think, like, if you, like you said, when you get to that point of having that responsibility of being on a stage, it's kind of like people will look up to you. And if
Facts.
people are looking up to Elon Musk and he has to give 6 billion out of $250 billion to like stop world hunger, I'm not going to be opposed to that. He doesn't have to, but like, what does that show about him that like he's not doing it? And all other billionaires that have like over 25 billion, like they could be doing fascinating things with their money. It's just like, why
Yeah.
not?
Yeah.
I really don't follow billionaires too much. So I can't speak on
You're making the right choice.
that.
Yeah, I don't know personally. I don't know a lot of billionaires by name, but I just don't like the concept. Like, if you have a lot of money and you're not sharing, like, I know people start foundations, but I want real change, bro. Like, real change, bro. Like, come on, like, real change. Like, I mean, like real change, like people outside picking up trash for money type shit. Like that's their job and that's normal because we need to clean up the planet type shit. Like real fucking change. Like we don't need to keep producing more shit on this planet and like mining this planet for what it already has just to like pollute it in the process. Fucked up. Fucked up. Like, how
Yeah.
are we so fucked up as a society that we have credit scores? Like, god damn.
China is initiating this program called the social credit system. I don't know if you guys know what this is, but basically, when you go to apply for jobs and like when you go to just do daily things, somehow the government is going to decide if you are a good person or not and rank you based on your actions as a citizen. So like if you do something that the government deems as like good, then you go out and like you'll be more respected than somebody who's looked at as bad. And like who decides what's good and bad other than like things that we can agree are like pretty wrong, but like who's gonna say? Like it's so weird. It's not I think like you said, like that real change, it has to be like right now. And I don't think I think we are the pinnacles that can like push that change. We are those pioneers because sadly, like whether you agree with Bernie Sanders or not, he was the only person who like was going to bring real change. Because as we're seeing, Joe Biden is not doing much. The Republican Party is not doing much. All they talk about is Dr. fucking Seuss and like theories that nobody even knows about because they have no issues to run on because if they run on actual issues, they're going to lose. So like Democrats say nothing, the Republicans say bullshit, and those who actually have ideas are like called socialists when they're and they're bro, people are calling Joe Biden a socialist. Like that's the furthest thing from a socialist that you can get, and like the labels are like just so absurd. That's why when it comes to like the change, it has to be us who like educates people that are older than us and people that are our age and can also be educated by people who have good intentions.
Yeah. I think I've noticed a change in our generation, I would say. As far as like political leaders, I don't really keep up with them too much. So I can't keep up what you're talking about, Michael. I'm sorry.
You're good.
But our generation, I feel like we're so much more self-aware, like even cancel culture. Like, wow, that's kind of crazy. Like, at least we're calling out other people for actions. Like, at least we're paying attention.
I just wanted to be more direct sometimes, less like of a movement, because like then it takes away from the individual. And I want to uplift people's individual traumas. But it's easier in a movement, but there's got to be that balance. Like sometimes we got to really like remind society like this isn't a hashtag. This is people's like pain. This is people's suffering. This is people's like injustice that they're sharing happen to them because they want to heal from it. Like it's not that hard to listen if you're presented with the information correctly. So like let's not beat around the bush in politics either. Like, come on now. Like, real change is doable. Like, tomorrow, bro. We plow all the streets in nights, and there's like systems built to do that. There should be systems built to clean up the environment. Like,
yeah.
Joe Biden could legalize marijuana right now if he wants to. You know, that could create millions of jobs, help so many like communities that are suffering, help out all the like the nonviolent drug offenders who were disproportionately targeted because they're Black, who went to jail because they were smoking marijuana, and like that didn't really hurt anybody at all. Like Joe Biden could create that change. You know, like we have to push for that because like we are the bosses of these people.
all right, so imagine an app where everyone in the community pays $1 and then everyone pulls up and for an hour cleans up trash in that community, splits the profits.
Wait, so everyone gets up for an hour, picks up trash?
Yeah, and it's like broken up by like neighborhood or community. You just outline the area you're doing, And then like I don't know, I just need like I need more tangible things happening to like clean up the environment. Like whenever I think of like, oh, like what are young people really talking about? Like they really just want change. Like they don't know how the world works. Like, bro, we just need to like fix the world. Like the environment is literally screaming for us just to not like continue to allow pollution.
You know, somebody told me something. This was a couple years ago. It was actually in an Uber ride, and I wonder if you guys know anything about it. But she said something about how all of our sewage systems and like all of our pipes were built like decades ago, and that our generation was going to have to be the one to like rebuild them.
Yeah.
Is that true?
America's infrastructure gets a grade of D minus.
They built with like 100-year plan, and then
Yeah.
like sewage systems built with like 50-year plans.
Like our bridges, our roads, our sewage systems, our water systems, like everything is getting ready to crumble, which is why, thankfully, like Republicans and Democrats both said, like, let's have an infrastructure bill, which is not nearly enough money to do anything that will last, but we'll like say we did something, which is good. But like people in Flint don't have clean water. There are diseases that like are deadly breaking out in poor communities across the country. COVID's still going crazy. Like hospitals are understaffed. People that aren't vaccinated are going to these hospitals, taking up spots of people that like will actually need instant surgeries. But because the hospitals are worried about all the COVID patients, all the people that like need help aren't getting it because everybody's focused on those with COVID. So like you can go in the hospital with like a broken ankle, but like somebody who didn't decide to get vaccinated is going to take up your spot and you're going to sit there for an hour. Like we as a society need to like talk about these things and like address these concerns before things get worse. Like you said about the environment, Austin, like we are clearly seeing like Greece, my dad's home country, is on fire.
Yeah, bro, the
And
time is now and the time has been now, and we've been talking about shit, bro, since like 2000, what, like 5, about like, Smokey Bear. It's likely that like don't smoke in the woods. Like it's always been about like either like it's never been proactive or preventive. It's just been like just enough to say like, all right, let's fix the damage now.
Maybe this is the perfect time though, because I was listening to an interview by X, and he's talking about how things have to be destroyed before they're recreated. So maybe like the destruction of COVID has finally like brought our attention to what needs to be changed. So maybe this is a perfect time.
That's a fact. Like you gotta fix what's broken. And are we gonna like try to patch it up like the roads again, or are we gonna like break this shit down and like really like rebuild a strong foundation that works for everyone, works for our futures? Like come on, like we shouldn't be what's the word? Yeah, we shouldn't just be like planning on life to stay the same.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, when it comes to like what happened during COVID, that's why Austin and I wanted to start this channel, because it seemed like everybody just like understood that something changed. And like when you saw those protests happening, a lot of people understood that like the systemically racist structures are still in place. And it's like both sides understood something should be done, but like those at the top and those billionaires who none of us can even name, who pay our politicians, decide when change will occur. And until those billionaires feel threatened, until they feel their wealth is going to be taken from them and redistributed back to the people, they won't act. Like when Bernie Sanders was running, nobody was like even thought he was going to win. And he started gaining more and more momentum and started having rallies that compared to like Trump's. I know that's not like the best comparison, but like Trump had a big coalition. When you look at a Joe Biden rally, there was like 10 people. Like nobody even wanted to be there. When they saw Bernie actually getting the momentum, where he was saying like that money that's going to be used, that's just hidden away, that will be used to clean up the planet, that's going to be under my watch. The billionaires, Obama, Bush, the Democratic Party, the Republican Party, all were like, this guy's not messing around. We cannot let him win. And that's how they, like, the people who control the means of production and are in power, make sure that whenever substantial change will occur, many skirmishes go on between the communities that really do need help. So like white people who really need help and their communities are struggling are going to hate black people. And that's because like they don't understand that it's those who decide that they're going to hate, those are the ones they should be hating, not their neighbors who are also struggling.
Dude, fuck yeah, bro. Like even just small interactions with my roommates, I'm like, yeah, man, like I'm glad y'all we're sharing this space together. Like I don't say it like that, but like, you know, we have like a good relationship, but we're not close friends where we like go to parties and stuff. I see them at parties, but it's like I love my neighbors in a way that's like they know I got their back if like something went wrong. Like if they had a flat tire, they could call me type of thing. So like the grassroots, bro, it's gotta start from the bottom up. Like,
Yeah. And we have to make sure like the narrative doesn't get twisted by like bigger outlets, you know.
yeah, like media movements are so like okay, like at this point I don't buy in because like I don't want the message to get diluted. Yeah. But I'm just like so turned away by politics, but I still pay attention. Like so disappointing how like corrupt politicians are. You can say something, win an election in a whole world, and then like not do anything. That's
As
just
somebody who's like a political junkie, I talk to so many people who are like, I'm not interested in politics. And at first I was like, I was like, why aren't you? If it's very important, all this stuff. And then I started following it more. I started reading more. And it's no wonder why people don't want to pay attention. The president is like half asleep and like he has sexual allegations against him. And the previous president talked about grabbing women by the pussy. And the previous president ran on a platform of change and didn't do anything and killed civilians with drones. The previous president, I can go on. But like this is like, and when you have like people screaming out about the environment and the Democratic Party is saying nothing and the Republican Party is talking about Dr. Seuss, why would anybody want to pay attention?
Like, can you talk about Dr. Seuss? Because I have not in the loop on that.
Basically, like some of Dr. Seuss's books had like racist undertones, and so there were people that were like, let's remove the books or like take out those books that were racist, and the Republican Party was just like, the Democrats are taking everything away. The society is breaking. All these like very extravagant, abstract points, while people like me are asking for higher wages, are asking for like unions, and they're out there talking about Dr. Seuss like it's the end of the world. You know,
Right.
like things that really matter aren't being discussed. And it's like it's tragic. But
it's
that's
like if
why
it's like if someone watched what Mike just said in this podcast, but watched me get a drink the whole time. It's like they're taking away from the real issue every time. Like that's what media does. They're like, dun-dun-dun.
Austin drinks
Sorry.
Gatorade.
Fuck yeah, sorry to pick on the fucking ESPN theme, bro. Sorry, Stephen A. Smith. Fucking having a laugh somewhere. But like, bro, like, and then the real problem is just like dodge to the next like cover story. Shitty.
Yeah.
Well, it's us that can like really change the narrative. Like, even Anna, even though you said you're not too into politics, you are incorporating very political themes just with your album. And that can change the minds of people. That can take somebody like me or somebody else.
But it's not political though. That's crazy though. People
And
are trying to
it
make
might
like
be.
women's rights political, bro. Like women are human beings.
Yeah.
I'm like, how you gonna tell me what the fuck I'm gonna do with my body? You don't do that shit. So don't do that shit to anyone else. Like what? I'm saying like, bro, like politics try to make morals politics instead of like realizing the politics is the structure in which we make change. Like
Mhm.
Yeah.
it's the position that's created for somebody to fill, not the person, not the ideas of this person's life. Like, yeah, we're all incorporating our ideas. That's democracy. But it's not that type of power structure, bro. But we gonna get someone to pick you, bro, next election. It really doesn't fucking matter. Like, I swear, like, I want to stay involved with politics and I read the news. I get all these different outlets to my phone, but like the wording just fucks with me. I'm like, they get paid to do this. They get paid to send this to my phone. Send this to my phone. It doesn't seem like the media is trying to like. They can affect the trajectory, and it doesn't seem like they try to change the trajectory to be like the spotlight on the real issue. They're just like, all right, views are up, views are up, views are up, views are up. Because once views are up, it's like a drug. It's like social media is a drug to society. Like once views are up, why would you change the show? Don't change the show. Views are up. So it's like, damn, now you have a dilemma. Do you want morals? Something that transcends this situation, or do you want to give in? And people give in, and it's a fucking downward spiral. We see it in the politics. We see it in the music industry. We see it. We see it everywhere, bro.
I think Michael would be a great president.
Same.
I vote.
Dude, that would be Michael would be the perfect person because like if bro, I know so many people like if Michael was acting shady, we'd be like, bro, they fucking got him. He's like, bro, they fucking got him. Because like no fucking way that shit is sliding with me, bro. Like, and I already know like the person I know you are, like know you as so far. Like, I'm just like, nah, bro. Like, Michael is pretty like straightforward with his beliefs, with his like ethics, with so yeah, bro. If you were acting shady in a political space, I'd be like, yo, they fucking got him.
It's not even hard to tell with some of these politicians. Like they go from like advocating for Medicare for all, and then the next speech they give is just like using fancy words. Like, if you ever see me doing that, like fire me, cancel me. Because like you'll notice, like when I'm out here talking, I'm not just like, we need to unite our values to create a common ethic. It's just no, I'm like Medicare for all, human rights, higher wages. It's like not hard at all.
I can follow your thought process, right? Like when I hear a politician speak, I immediately back up from the situation. I'm like, all right, what picture are they trying to paint for me to look at right now? Like dead ass. And in what room and at what time of day? Like fuck that shit, bro. Like the politics need to be looked at differently, held to a different standard because they have too much power to be just like, oh, it's just regular old Joe fucking lives down the street. Like he couldn't cause your fucking what's it called when they like draw lines in like counties and like get different
Redlining.
Yeah, he couldn't cause redlining to cause generational wealth gap differences and like educational divides. Bro, it's Joe down the street. Like, no, we need to hold him to a different standard. And I feel like that's why broadcasting, media, public relations, marketing, that shit just attracts me because I will not be, and the people around me know I will not be corrupted. Like, can't corrupt someone who can't even corrupt themselves. Like,
I hope so.
This has been such an amazing conversation, guys.
Thank you.
It's been awesome talking to you, Anna. And Austin is like the best
Actually,
co-host.
yo, I take that back. I corrupt myself every day in the hopes of being better and growing from that shit. Like that's the thing about me, bro. I'm never scared to like look fucking evil or good in the eye and like accept who I am for what I am, bro. And I feel like people don't get into that conversation enough. Like there's always like a bad and a good influence in every like step along the way of life. If like politicians, bro, they just like follow a fucking like they just follow like a process and blame it on the checks and balances and whoever else is gonna cover their ass. But yeah, that's for another episode. Sorry.
Well,
Dude,
I like.
you're good. Don't
Okay.
apologize.
I like the
All right.
point about you talking about how you corrupt yourself every day and how that needs to be talked about more. Like everybody has a dark side and a light side. And when we talk about like being in balance as people, like the dark side needs to be expressed. It doesn't need to be taken out on other people, but it needs to be expressed. That was it.
Sometimes I feel like I'm carrying a baggage that's following me, and I'm like, let me like meditate right now. Meditation, 10 minutes of your day, clear your mind, have better like outlook on whatever the fuck you're about to do. I highly recommend it. Even though it seems like I don't gotta do that shit. I do that shit every day, but then when I actually do it, I'm like, that's fucking cool. I couldn't imagine life without it. And then like I'm like, damn, I'm still okay though when I don't do it. So yeah, meditate, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen.
I have
And
oh my bad.
You're good.
I was gonna say I have an app that it's like been helping me a lot. It has like meditation and other features in it. But it said there are 6 steps and 6 things to do in life if you actually want to be a happy person. And I put it up on my wall. Exercise, nutrition, creative recreation, which we can look at as like what we're doing now, or like when you guys are making music, reading, social building, means like socializing, meeting new people, and meditation.
Mm.
And it says like with those 6 things, you can lead like a life where you feel fulfilled. And that's what I've been trying to incorporate into my life. I've been meditating every day. And like you notice the differences over a very short, like a long period of time, but it's there, and it's like real.
Yeah, man. I like to think of it like a space you create for your own peace of mind to like harbor in. You know what I mean? Like your peace of mind's always there, but like if you make a space for it, you can always come back to that space. Like when you come back to your breath, when you meditate, like being mindful of like just a deep breath, what I can do for you. Like you can just take a deep breath for real.
I like those 6 things. I personally can't meditate, at least not in the way other people can. It's really hard for me to just like sit still and do nothing. I read cards. I guess that's my meditation. Like I kind of look at that as prayer almost because you're asking for guidance and then guidance is given to you. So that's me.
Yeah.
That's really cool. What type
Yeah.
of cards?
I don't really like tarot cards. I like oracle cards. They're more straightforward and they're really good for just the daily stuff. So I'll go with oracle.
My friend has
Amazing.
some moon cards that she was sharing
Yeah.
with me. Those are pretty cool too.
Yeah, I love cards. I have an addiction.
It's a good
I love
addiction.
getting the decks. Huh?
That's a good addiction. Like I feel like there are definitely good addictions. Like exercise, too much of it, okay. Take a break. Let your body relax. Relaxing is like the fucking balance that you need with exercise. But like still, that's a good addiction. Get some cards. And
I
like
think
that shit's
exercise. Sorry to interrupt. You keep going.
no, you're good. I'm sorry to keep rambling.
But I was just gonna say, I think exercise is a really good way to like work out trauma too, because I feel like stuff just gets stuck in your body. And by exercising, I feel like that's a way to like slowly release it over time.
I love exercising.
I don't. I still do it though.
I see you at the gym sometimes. Like I don't know if I've seen you in a long time, but I remember I have seen you at the gym.
I don't like being inside anymore. I don't know if it's the people. Like I like people, but lately I've just been on like a ride by myself. So now I just run. I try to run 4 miles twice a week. With this album, I've fallen off and it's just been like once a week. So I do my 4 miles like around UCF and then I come back.
As you should. As you motherfucking should.
Yo,
You
and
do
I
those
like
fucking miles. I can't run 4 miles for shit.
I can't either. I walk, but I still get.
I was gonna say I like that you said you're on your own ride. That's important. There's strength in that. There's a lot of like strength to claim in being on your own ride. Like
Yeah.
a lot. And strength in everything, not just strength, like just strength in like self acceptance, self discovery, and like venturing out and doing new shit. Just like hell yeah. That's exciting. I feel like I'm on my own ride too, so like that's exciting to hear someone else like doing their thing. Whenever someone's doing their thing, I'm like, yeah, do that shit. Do that shit. I always support it. Like always. Unless it's like deliberately bringing people down. But like I know you're definitely not doing that shit. So yeah.
You guys want to wrap this up?
Yeah, this has been a great conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm speechless. This has been the longest podcast I've recorded so far, I think. And it's been one of the most insightful and fun for me.
Wait, how long has it been?
Well, because of Austin's technical difficulties, I've been in this Zoom call for 2 hours and 33 minutes.
Damn.
But podcast wise, it's probably like an hour and a half, maybe more.
Okay. Yeah, that's
But
pretty
like,
cool.
Anna, do you want to tell people where they can find you? What any other information about the album?
Yeah, my name is Anna Ames, ANNAAMES. Album is called Trap Queen. So I feel like people can just search that up. My Instagram, it's Anna Ames Sings, but it's all one word, so it's spelled Anna Me Sings.
I bet I'm gonna follow.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it took me like 2 years before I realized that was a thing, and then people pointed it out to me. I had no idea.
And the album is coming out
Friday.
All right.
Yeah.
That's so
Fingers
exciting.
crossed.
That's exciting. Yo, the day it comes out, are you planning on like listening to it all day?
No. I
You done
think
with it?
no. I mean, yes, but no. It gives me anxiety to like listen to my stuff. So I've been trying my best. I've already been listening to it every day, but I've been trying my best not to.
Cool.
Because it's like I have to fall in love with it each time I listen to it.
I want to ask
It's
for like a
nice.
preview,
Yeah.
but I can't. Don't give me
Great.
one. But yeah,
Look, once I start asking, like I'm pretty much gonna be like, damn, now I really want to hear it.
yeah, I want to hear it.
Thanks.
But like I can wait. I can really wait.
Well, thank you all so much for tuning in to this episode of The Shift with myself and Austin. We will have another guest on soon, and please come back for more amazing conversations.
Yep.
Thank you for having me. This was fun.
For sure.
Thank you.
Keep a lookout. Artists on the come up.
See you guys.
Bye.
All right, peace.